So what exactly is charcoal? Well, it's basically wood that's been cooked without much oxygen, and all the water and gases gets driven out of it. And what's left is almost pure carbon. That's why it burns hotter and cleaner than regular wood. So I use charcoal quite a bit for my blacksmithing because it's just a whole lot easier to mess around with charcoal besides big clumps of wood, and I just have a hard time getting my hands on a bunch of coal. So this is the best option for me. Charcoal's been used for thousands of years with the process of iron making, with copper and stuff from the Egyptians, and the Greeks used it a little bit later on, maybe around 700 BC. But charcoal has been the main backbone of industry for several thousand years. So I did a poll on my YouTube channel for what video I should do next, and to the 4 whole people that voted, 2 of you wanted me to make charcoal, so this video is for you guys if you ever watch this video. Here's my simple little charcoal kiln. As you can see, it's just a empty 55-gallon barrel, and what I've done here is I put in a little air intake hole, about the size of your palm, and what I'll do is once the fire gets going, then I'll smother this with some dirt. But what we're going to work on now is just filling this up with wood, and I'll stack all the bigger pieces in the back, and then where this air intake is will be like the smaller, thinner stuff. So it'll be a whole lot easier to light the fire. You'll see in a minute. So this is the first layer. As you can see, I put some kindling in there to help me start the fire. And then I put all my bigger pieces in the back. So it'll be a lot easier for the fire to travel out and burn the bigger stuff. Alright, so we got it filled up. And now we're just going to slap my dinky little lid on it. And this will fall down with the wood as it burns, and then I'll put some stovepipes on this to create a draft. Alright, so about an hour has passed, and some of the smoke is escaping off the sides, but don't worry about that. What we can see is up top, I don't know if you can see it, but that's a lot of heat coming out of there. And it's smokeless, so it's gasifying. So all the smoke's being burned up there. And if you look down here, so yeah, it's pretty hot fire. Get the scoop of dirt. Take the dirt, put it right there. It's real hot. We're gonna stuff that hole up with this dirt. And if you listen, you can hear the fire quit almost. We'll let that cook for maybe a few more hours. Alright, so I kind of had to let this sit for a little bit because it started pouring rain. Thankfully, we really needed it. But anyway, look how hot this thing is getting. That is red hot right there. This thing's cooking. Oh yeah, look at that. She's hot. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright, let's get the shovel. So we got this topped off now. We're just going to put this lid on top of it. And then I'll hammer that down in with this stick. I gotta work on some other spots there. But this is actually probably one of my best batches because I have so much left in there. And what I want to do is I want to pour it out and I'm going to sprinkle water on it because I have nowhere else to put these because I don't want all that to go to waste. Alright, so now we just have to allow this to cool, and I'll do this overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll come back and scoop it all out. Well, chat, we got some bad news. So I came back like, I don't know, this is like 3 days later. It's still smoking. Barely, yeah, you can see it a little bit. Guess what happened? A goofy cow, if I can focus it in, one of them goofy little cows thought it'd be a great idea to come over here and mess up my thing. He knocked it down, and then, as you can see, this is still hot, and air went in through there, so it burnt up all my charcoal that I worked so hard to get. So, out of all this effort, that is what we got. Not this field, we got that. So, what can we learn out of this? Do not buy goofy cows. Do not buy cows, because they will cost you money. And also, I was shelling some walnuts today, and my glove broke. So, I have a nice black hand for a little bit. But yeah, here's our charcoal quality. That's pretty good stuff right there. Let me get the camera focused in on it. Yeah, look at that. That's not bad. And that breaks pretty good. So, we have a fair amount of charcoal here. I mean, this is all charcoal. Fair amount here. Pretty sad about that because that was a lot of charcoal. Let's see how much we have actually. This is still hot to the touch after 3 days. Woo. Well, you can see how much is burnt down. So that's a lot of ash and trash right there. Let's grab a piece. Yeah, so there's the charcoal, and you can still see some ashes in there. I mean embers. Yeah, you can still see embers in there. That's hot. That stinks. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to bag up. I got a little feedback here, and we're just going to bag up what we got. So out of all that work, we got that much. Not very much. Now we would have had like almost, we would have had this completely filled up to the top, maximum, you couldn't close it. And like another 3/4 of one. So we lost so much charcoal from the goofy cows. And you can still see, that's hot. That's pretty hot stuff. So, yeah, I'm just going to recool it, and I'll get a little bit out of that, but most of it's ash now, so it's kind of sad. So, if you want to make charcoal, don't buy a cow. Just don't buy a cow. Well, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you got something out of it. Don't buy a cow, that's all I can say. And as you can see, he left us a nice, pretty surprise right there that I just stepped in. So, yeah, got me a double whammy. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.